You know, they say always look on the bright side of life, so today we're in light mode with Digi May.
Woo.
Let's see what we get. Number 22.
That's how old I am.
Princess Principal.
Oh, shit.
I've heard this is supposed to be good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we did it! We
Whoa.
actually finished the show!
Whole show.
And enjoyed it!
Yeah!
Unlike the Kato, which you didn't have to sit through,
But I had to sit through you describing it to me.
Yeah, it was an unmitigated disaster. And at the beginning of episode 3 of Finish or Fail, I even say, like, I'm in a good mood because we started watching a show that was actually good. And I was talking about Princess Principal, and I was hoping to God that it would not turn into a downhill.
No, it wouldn't flake out on us.
Yeah, because
Princess doesn't flake out.
I mean, it could have. It
Yeah,
easily could have.
I could have seen it.
Yeah.
Going in a wrong direction. Like
I was
at any moment,
surprised it held together
on.
as well as it did.
Yeah, me too.
So Princess Principal was really fun and cool and awesome and a totally
super fucking
pleasant
awesome.
surprise. I had heard that this show was like a parody of spy thrillers. But no, it's just a spy show. It's just a spy movie with super cute girls in it. And
super fucking cute.
I mean, I think we need to start from there because you and I are connoisseurs of cute girls. And especially of cute outfits. This show has some of the best costume designs I have ever seen.
Yes.
Full stop. Like, this has the cutest outfits I've seen in a very long time.
Definitely the cutest fucking spy get-ups I've ever seen.
Oh my god. They're just... I can't... I'm, like, trying to think if I've ever seen a show with costumes I appreciated more than this.
The thing about this show is it has kind of like a steampunk aesthetic.
Yes.
And it's like set in London in probably the 40s or 50s.
Right.
So
there's definitely...
You're gonna see some cool shit.
Yeah, there's... It's a perfect... Like, the outfits are like a blend of like a gothic kind of like... Gothic London, Jack the Ripper kind of era, like Sherlock Holmes... But with also then, like, a spy thriller thing.
Yeah.
And then, like they're just a combination of all kinds of different styles into something cohesive that is just uniquely this show. Mm-hmm. And all of them work together. Like, all the outfits are completely different.
Yeah, each of the character kind of, like, brings different elements. Like, there's one character who wears, like, Beatrice, it's like all gothic stuff.
Yeah, she's in like a gothic dress with like dark blue with like a black rose petal embroideries all over it.
She has like a cute little black bonnet and she's fucking adorable.
And all of which bounces off of her orange hair perfectly, and she's the cutest little thing in the world. And then you've got the Japanese girl who's also the cutest thing in the world because she's got this very interesting integration of like the flowy kimono style with like a like European corset, you know? Like it's a combination of
the
East
way
and
they
West
make her
flavors.
like wear her school uniform, she has like kind of the
the
little jacket over her school uniform.
That's sort of shaped like a kimono or like a what's the other one called? The one that's like a light kimono. Yukata.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like all of them have totally unique and amazing outfits that we could probably go on about all day.
Yeah.
Like, we could make a separate video just about all the outfits in this show.
I was super sold on
this
show, because there was, like, a ballroom scene in, like, either the first or second episode.
Uh-huh.
And all of the characters had, like, their own
second
dress.
Episode. Yeah.
Is the second episode?
Yeah, they had the really pretty dresses.
Yeah, all of the characters had, like, a formal dress, like, a spy wear. They all have, like, their own school outfit, and then they have, like, just their regular
There's
clothes.
some outfits they gave them just for, like, one scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, towards the end of the show, there's a scene where it's the only moment where we see their school in winter, and they completely designed a totally unique winter outfit just for this one scene.
Those coats were really, really cool. I wish I had one.
I do too. Like, it was
like a cape with, like, fur that, like, went up to here, and it had, like, some cool-ass buttons. And
because everything's themed around, like, the show takes place in, like, an alternate universe London of, like, the 1930s or so, where I guess there was a revolution that split the country in half, and there's a wall going through, basically like the East and West Germany.
Like Berlin. London is Berlin.
Yeah, London is Berlin, and also they have steampunk technology.
It's fucking amazing.
Which is never actually explained. Like, it's just kind of a part of the world.
I appreciate it so
much. Is that
much.
there's this glowing green shit that powers everything, and therefore it's a steampunk world. It's mostly just an aesthetic choice and also a superpower gadget for the main character to have. But yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. It definitely reminded me of Dimension W, which is from the same studio, 3 Hertz, and how that show it uses a very similar glowing green power source that powered the whole world. But whereas that show was dumb, this one was awesome. Yeah. So, and I can't understate how important it is that the girls are that cute, because again, you and I are connoisseurs of cute girls, and they were so successfully cute and adorable and fun to watch. And this is kind of a show, in some twisted way, it's a show about 5 cute girls who are best friends having fun together. Except that it's also like a grimdark spy thriller. Yeah. Which was probably the biggest surprise, was that how dark it was willing to get.
Yeah. Well, in episode 1.
Yeah, right from the beginning, it like... Because you don't know. It takes its time unveiling it. Mm-hmm. Like, at the beginning, there's like a chase scene, and there's like crazy, wacky superpowers and stuff, and like, while it's a really fun scene, it's like engaging and well-directed, and like, the powers are cool and fun, it's not violent. Like, that opening scene, nobody gets killed. There's just kind of like there's destruction, but no real violence. And they really save it for the end of the episode, when then, like, we see one dude get lit the fuck up. Oh, yeah. And it's like, oh shit. And then we see another guy, like the sort of protagonist of the episode, get horribly murdered by the main character. And it's like, oh, this is, like, not just will people die in this show, the main character will murder someone, like, a sympathetic character in this show. So, like, this is real. This is some real shit. Every character has a really dark backstory, which I love. I love that they're all adorable, but their backstories are horrifically
all the characters
dark.
Are super well developed too. They all kind of have their own thing that made them fucked up. Yeah.
Like, there's a reason for each of them to be spies.
Yeah.
Even Beatrice, who... So, Beatrice is the funniest thing to me about this show. Because basically the idea of this show is it's a group of spies working for one of the 2 Britain governments trying to overthrow the other one. And the main girl is like the best spy in the world. And then there's the leader of the spy team, who's like the slightly older girl, who's also a badass spy. And then they get this samurai girl who joins their team, who's also a badass spy. And then,
they're all like classically trained spies. They know what they're doing.
But then the plot of the show is that they end up with the princess of the country that they're fighting against ends up joining their team, basically by way of coercion between her and our main character girl, who are secretly friends. And they want to...
And, her handmaiden girl gets wrapped up in
That's everything. Where it gets weird. So, like, it's already funny that the spy team allows the princess in there, but you kind of get it, because it's like, she's, there's obviously a lot of use for having a princess on their team.
She's an asset.
But then there's her friend Beatrice, who's just some girl who is in love with the princess, and she just kind of ends up on the team, and it's never really addressed.
Well, she loves the princess. That's what it's all for her.
Like, what would have made sense would be to kill her immediately.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as the princess got involved, Beatrice, you're done. But the weird thing is that her ability to be a spy is justified because even though she's totally untrained and has no idea what she's doing, she's a mecha girl. Yeah. And it's like my favorite thing about the whole show is that Beatrice is this super adorable mecha girl, and she's normally got like this very sweet, high-pitched little girl voice, but because she has like a voice box that she talks through, she can change it to be like an old man's voice.
She can change it to anybody's voice.
It's the cutest thing in the world.
It's a really awesome gimmick. I love it.
Just hearing the voices come out of her and looking at her face is great.
It's such a creative way to have that character be in the story and not have to come up with some elaborate excuse.
There is a scene where she unmistakably would be dead if she was not a mecha girl. Where a samurai literally, like, decapitates her, except it doesn't work because her skin's made of metal. And, like, that scene is, like, it's genius. Like, it shows no, she's, like, they didn't let her get lucky and, like, not fuck up ever. No, she fucks up. It's just she's a mecha girl, so she can survive that. She kind of has no place in the show except that she's perfect.
Yeah.
And,
she's best girl.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely goofy stuff about this show. The fact that the spies manage to, like, even though they're supposed to be, like, super secretive, they're totally, like, they're always teamed up with the princess. So everyone should know who they are immediately. Early on into the show, I kept thinking about Akka and how in that show, like, the main character just smoking cigarettes in public was enough to draw everyone's attention to him. And in this show, we've got 4 spies who are just always hanging out with the princess and no one even notices. So there is goofy stuff. But the show is so well directed and so entertaining that it's easy to look past that. Like, you shouldn't take it that seriously, but it's also got such a dark, edgy undercurrent that it's like
awesome.
It feels really slick. Like, sometimes you get to watch someone get fucking murdered, and it never, like, rubs your face in it. No. It's not like Magical Girl Raising Project, where it's like, oh, want to watch a bunch of little girls die?
Yeah, you know? I do.
This one's more like, you know, you never get the sense that it's going to be cruel to the main characters for no reason.
Yeah, for the sake of being cruel, so we can enjoy it.
Yeah, it's more like they've all got dark, fucked up backstories that led to them being who they are, and they themselves are dark people. Yeah. They kill people.
I like to earn my suffering.
Yeah.
I feel like with this show, you earn it.
Yeah, you definitely earn your suffering.
It.
And you don't have to suffer that much. Because it's mostly a fun... It's actually funny, the early episodes are darker than the later ones. Which was a weird twist. For the most part,
except for, like...
Because the darkest part is always the backstory.
Yeah,
like, what the girls are doing in the present is mostly becoming good friends and, like, actually finding people that they relate to. And like the horrifying work of being spies and murdering people is what brings them together and gives them some purpose in life, whereas their backstories is being tormented by usually some kind of abusive father.
Yeah, that's a recurring theme.
It's definitely a theme. Most of them have shit dads. And, and it's a good time. I was constantly interested in this credit that's in the opening, which, by the way, the OP is badass.
Oh, it's amazing.
The OP makes me want to tear ass.
I want it on my phone. It's gonna be the only song
I want it in my car.
Phone.
I want to be driving down the road. I will never
really
be deceived. I'm a girl who sees through lies. It's so fucking cool. It's bombastic and epic. But anyway, in the OP, there's a credit for series structure. And the series has a really unique structure where it jumps around its timeline a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it starts off showing us
it's just like a standalone story with all of the main girls in it before we actually start the plot.
Right. And then, like, and it doesn't just... It's not just a flash forward. It's like it flashes back and forth all the time where, like, we learn how their spy unit got formed, and then we cut to the present, and then we'll learn how the Japanese girl got on the team, and then we'll cut to the present, and then we'll have an episode exploring a character's backstory and how it relates to the present. And it does this for most of the show.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting it to maybe keep doing that for the first half and then just, like, straighten out and do a plot for the rest of the show, which is what I was afraid of. Because that's what a show like Kado did.
Yeah.
And then the second half is a nightmare. Or what a show like ID Zero did. Like, a lot of shows that the setup is interesting, but then once it tries to have a plot, it just falls apart. And this show doesn't quite have that problem. Though I will say that I think the last 2 episodes were probably my least favorite of the show.
Yeah, they definitely didn't have the same tone. But
yeah. Well, because they obviously were going to do it. They were going to jump into a plot. And then I think sort of the problem is that the actual goals of the characters were too big to conclude this season. Like, because basically the princess, her thing is that she wants to be queen. This is established from episode 2, is that she wants to become the queen so that she can eradicate the wall and save the country.
Yeah, bring everybody together.
But because this show was more about building the characters and their relationship, there was no time to do that by the end. Like, there was no way we were going to wrap that up in 2 episodes. So instead, it just kind of fabricates a 2-episode plot where, like, they have to kill the princess and, like, you know, first of all, it's pretty obvious how it's going to resolve from the beginning. And second of all, it's kind of written in such a way that's like just like it exists just to have a climax and then to kind of end us in a way where like we're assured that we'll be continuing on the path towards the greater goal if there were a season 2, or even if not, we know where the characters will be going from there on. But like it doesn't really resolve what we actually
like have been caring about.
Yeah, like what is the main goal? And so it kind of leaves you like, well, I mean, I'm not surprised by that.
No, me neither. There was no way they were going to accomplish.
But it would have been nice. You know, it would have been nice to get like a real. I always hate when a show doesn't go all the way. Mm-hmm. You know, like I always want a show to go all the way, and to do so without like the problem with Kado was that it didn't go all the way on the actual premise, which was how do we evolve humanity with these new technologies. It just turned into an action show so it could have a conclusion. And this show similarly kind of just turns into like, I mean, it was always a spy thriller, so it's not like that different in the end. And there's still emotional moments and character drama, and like it's still good. It was just like everything leading up to that point was better. Learning the backstories was really interesting. The way that the series bounced between all these different sort of parts of the timeline was interesting.
Yeah, the spy thriller aspect of it was probably the least like entertaining and like part of it. It was the worst part of it. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't what we wanted to see. Yeah,
I mean, I felt like the spying stuff was usually done in service of characterization. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, there's a pretty cliche spy plot when we learn the older girl's backstory regarding her father. Like, the way that situation resolves is a big cliche. It was probably the weakest part of that episode. But, like, the emotions of that episode were good. And sometimes the most fun episodes were like the smaller stories that didn't have like I really loved the laundry episode where it's just about the girls all join like a laundromat for the sake of this like you know this mission that they're doing, but the mission really falls into the background as they explore like the characters who live in this laundromat and stuff, and it was a better story than the actual plot, deliberately so. But yeah, I would agree that the spying stuff, sometimes it was interesting. Sometimes they pulled a fast one.
It was interesting when it was, like, used in service of, like, telling an emotional story.
Yeah.
It was a cool device for that, but...
But occasionally you would get, like, character running through hail of bullet fire, classic cliche stuff that I was really not cliche. Into. Like, there are some action scenes that are really well done. There's a great sword fight in one episode.
Yeah.
Like, a really well choreographed sword fight that was dope.
A fucking train of all things.
Usually when they have gunfights, it's a little bit more, pulling stuff out of their ass. But, like, I would say the best thing about the show is just the plot twists.
Oh my god, they're great.
There are some great twists in this show. It definitely was not what we were, like, expecting. Mm-hmm. Some people would probably see it coming. I'm not the best at detecting plot twists. Like, it's funny, in spite of me being, like, an analytical guy, I think if I figure out a plot twist before it happens, you have utterly failed. Because I'm usually always blindsided by plot twists.
It's so funny, because, like, I knew it was going down, like, right before it happened.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I probably figured it out right then. But, like, throughout, I mean, there's probably some people who could have figured it out earlier into the show. But like
there were definitely hints that were dropped.
And we're not even just talking about one twist. There's a few
so
twists.
Many fucking twists in the show.
But there's definitely some that are bigger than others. But like it just did a great job of keeping us engaged and involved. I would say that the big twist moment was the highlight of the series, and after that point it never quite captures that again. Like there's a moment that which I was surprised it happened as early as it did. And was revealed with kind of no fanfare. It was just like, oh shit, like that's what's been going on? And then you continue from there, and the show just kind of, rides itself out with more spy thriller stories. I don't know, the last third is definitely the least interesting part of the show, but like, it's still good. I would give this show an 8 out of 10.
That's what I was gonna say, an ocho. At work today, I was talking to someone on the phone, and I was, like, reading them a string of numbers, and I said 8, 8, 8. And they're like, can you repeat that? Are you saying A? And I'm like, fucking ocho.
How would A be a number?
Exactly, it's a number string. Like, what do you think it is?
Yeah.
So this gets an ocho from me.
Yeah, this to me, if this is the high school fleet of this year.
Yeah.
High school fleet last year was a bunch of cute girls in a really fun action story. And whereas high school fleet, the trick with that show was that it kept hinting that it could get dark, but never actually did. This show is actually dark. But it still manages to have the same atmosphere of like fun adventure with a bunch of cute girls that show did, which is kind of amazing. It seems like it shouldn't work. It seems like you shouldn't be able to do simultaneously a gritty, dark spy thriller with a bunch of adorable girls having fun, but they did it somehow. Obviously, this is going to have a limited audience. Like, I don't think a non-anime fan's going to be able to watch this and understand what the fuck's happening, but I really enjoyed it, and
you like cute girls and guns and cool outfits and steampunk and trains and...
I would love it if it's a tradition that I get a show like this every year. I would love to have one show like this every year as my return to fun action cute girl show with super, like, when I say cute girls I mean like the pencil thin, like tiny lolly girls, because they look just like the high school fleet girls.
So would you say the show has a lot of rewatch value or no?
I would say I would say so, especially if they make another season. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd love to see this plot actually get concluded. As it stands, I could see rewatching, because it's short, yes. Like, the first 8 episodes are definitely rewatchable. I would say the last 4 I would only rewatch because why not finish the show if I was going to watch it again? Like, maybe every couple of years I could see watching this. It's not something I'd rush to go watch again, but, like, I could definitely see remembering this show when I've got, like, a craving for steampunk. I could definitely see us making a video about the character designs, like, and the outfits.
I would totally be down too, because there's a lot to work with.
Yeah.
All of the characters.
When we finally launch our show about character outfits, then we will definitely, this will be on the docket.
Yeah. And were there any characters you found yourself relating to?
Relating to? Not really.
No?
What about you?
Well, I'm a girl, so yes. All of the characters kind of, a little bit.
Yeah?
Especially in their backstories, but I felt like the princess.
You have a backstory of being, like, horribly, like, beaten by your parents, or, like, or your whole country getting destroyed? Like, what?
More of just, like, personality traits and stuff, but, like, I like the princess a lot. I don't want to spoil nothing, but she was pretty cool. I liked how... Yeah. I don't know if I could say without spoiling anything.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil things either. It's too much...
Yeah, it's really fun to watch. I would definitely recommend it. Watch it right now.
The Digi May seal of approval. Let's find out what we're watching next!
Oh, God.
Alright, it's time to find out. What's it gonna be? Number 4, that is Gabriel Dropout.
Oh, sweet.
I've heard this is good. Have you seen any of this?
I've seen the first episode. That's all.
Let's watch it.
Yeah.
We just watched the first 3 episodes of Gabriel Dropout. And I think, wow, my hair does look cool. You told me my hair looked cool, but I didn't see it till just now. I think we both felt the same way about it, which is that we wanted to like it a lot.
Yeah, the first episode had good impressions. Yeah. There was a lot of fun gimmicks, but it got old real fast.
It was the kind of thing where during the first episode, I was interested at first, but I kept seeing more warning signs throughout that episode that really became blaring in episode 2, and then by episode 3 it was kind of flatlined.
Yeah.
So this is a show about angels and devils who end up living in our world's high school. Mm-hmm. And like at the beginning the joke is sort of that the top angel comes to Earth and she's super happy about helping people and she wants to be a great person, but she ends up accidentally getting addicted to MMOs and becomes...
Which is totally realistic. Yeah. That would be me.
And it's hilarious, and she's portrayed like how every, like, you know, person who gets addicted to MMOs is.
Every cute girl who becomes bratified.
I could tell you related to her a lot.
I've been corrupted.
Was that you when you got into League? Just... room destroyed,
would not
mumbling
leave.
about how everyone needs to die, and
yeah.
So she becomes sort of a stereotypical otaku shut-in character, but it was pretty funny. And then there's the devil girl, who's like trying to sort of straighten her up and get her to come to class. And she's the first problem with the show. Pointless character.
Yeah.
She exists to be the straight man, but she kind of immediately deflates the gimmick to me. Like Gabriel, the joke is that she's an angel who acts like a slob, you know?
Yeah, like she's the opposite of what an angel should be. But by introducing a character who is the exact opposite as her, like a demon
that's nice, but for no reason.
Yeah.
Like Gabriel, and it's not like Gabriel acts like a demon. She's just a slob.
Yeah.
She's just kind of like the joke is that, you know, she's just a gamer, whatever. But then you got the demon girl who, for no reason, is just like a normal person. She's just a normal, functional person.
Why didn't they just make her a normal person?
Or make her, like, really, like, obscenely nice. Like, really push the idea that she's more angelic, but she's just a normal person.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes they present the idea that, like, oh, she's not very demonic, you know, but, like, she's not, like...
She's not an angel either.
She just plays the straight man character. Like the completely generic straight man of any comedy show. And at first that didn't seem like a big deal, but as the show goes on, she is really boring.
She's extremely boring. All of the scenes with her just like...
Just drag. And it's because this show... So I feel like I understand exactly what the problem is here, because I've read a lot of 4-panel manga. I used to be really into this kind of show back in the day, and as a result, I have seen way too much of it. And the biggest problem that comes up when 4-panel manga, which I'm assuming this is, I don't even know that for sure, but it feels like it.
Yeah.
And usually the problem that comes from adapting it to anime is that, like, the way that the punchlines are structured is like, it's like setup, punchline, setup, punchline. And when you see it in anime like that for 24 whole minutes, it gets really tired. And most shows that do this try to mix it up. Like, you know, Kyoto Animation, obviously, if they do K-On! Or Lucky Star or something, they completely change it and, like, add in tons of stuff and try to make it feel more like a show. Mm-hmm. And then you get stuff like... Wakaba Girl or Kiniro Mosaic, which is more like this, where I just get tired of it because it's just like, yeah, I get it. There's gonna be another joke like this and another joke and another joke, and like it's just a whole scene of setup, joke, setup, and some of the jokes aren't as funny as others, and so every time a joke doesn't really land, you're just like, oh, this scene sure is going on, you know.
There's a lot of setup for this joke that.
Sometimes it's like the first joke is really funny, and then it just keeps going, and you're like, you've ruined it, you killed it, you know, and then you have a whole episode of that, so it's like, it just kind of drones on, you know. You have anything you want to say about the structure of it, or like what stuff you found funny?
Oh, what stuff I found funny? In the first episode when she teleports her panties, I thought that was fucking hysterical.
It was the reaction of the students that got me. She teleports her panties into the classroom trying to teleport herself, and the guys who see them just like start praying, and I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good jokes. Like, most of the stuff involving Gabriel and Satania is pretty funny. But I love Satania. I love that she's like, because she's just an idiot. Like,
yeah, she's super fucking lovable.
She's a shockingly believable portrayal of a like autistic high school kid, in my opinion. At least the kinds that I hung out with in high school.
Yeah, same.
And this made it almost uncomfortable for me when we introduced the other angel character, because the other angel is just a sadist.
Fucking troll.
For no apparent reason, she just likes to torment people, and like, so she sees Satania as a target, and she's like, I'm gonna troll this girl, and it's too real, like she's too good at it, and she comes off as a total cunt. Like, on the one hand, I got some laughs out of it, but like I was just like, oh, fuck this bitch, you know, because Satania's so sympathetic.
They took it way too far.
Well, like, the thing is that Satania's not hateable enough.
No.
She's too adorable and fun to watch her suffer.
Super fucking lovable character.
Yeah. Like, I've seen how you can do this. You can do something like this if the character is hateable enough that you feel like they kind of deserve it. Like, Konosuba with Aqua.
Yeah.
Like, Aqua is such a bitch that, like, even though she's like, you know, she's like not high functioning in intelligence and other people fuck with her and like what they're doing to her is wrong, but because she's such a bitch, you can't feel that bad for her.
Yeah.
So it makes it really funny. And with Satania, it's like she's just completely pure and nice and like nothing she does is really all that bad. Mm-hmm. And then you've got this angel girl who's just tormenting her. And it's just like, oh man, why you gotta beat up on Satania like that? It's a little awkward. And yeah, like all the scenes with Satania and Gabriel are usually funny.
Great.
But the scenes... Episode 3, there's a moment where we were like, God. Put it down.
It was because the blue-haired demon girl, what's her name? Vignette? Vinegar?
Vignette, I think.
She's like has a moment where she realizes, oh, I haven't had any interactions with Raphael. I should go hang out with her. And I thought that was a really cheap way to like
really
have
forced.
them interact. Like it's just like, oh, well, we haven't had a scene together. Let's have a scene together. I thought it was dumb. And then their scene was really bad.
It's as though the writer couldn't think of any way to get these two characters into the same scene, so he just literally
it's just really
put them
lazy
there.
writing.
And then there was nothing for them to like. It was just they have a conversation about like, oh, what stuff have you noticed since coming to the human world? I literally couldn't
pay attention to the subtitles because it just felt really unnatural and the characters are like being really distracting and I was like, I'm not interested in what they're saying. It's too much text for like a joke that isn't landing and I was just like, I don't want to watch this anymore. Please fast forward through the scene.
Yeah, which I ended up doing because it went on forever. Every scene goes on forever, which is a big problem. And like, there's a part because after episode 2, we were both like, all right, I feel like we get all the gimmicks. I feel like we get the character interactions. We've had like 10 different times that we established that Satania has no taste, that like she can eat.
Like the cream puff scene where they have the 3 cream puffs, there's a spicy one. I'm like, oh, Satania's gonna eat the spicy one. I already saw that a mile fucking coming.
Yeah.
Like,
because they're going to repeat
old
the jokes
really fast, and they're going to repeat the jokes for the next 12
I mean, when you've got 2 jokes... No, like 3 jokes in 2 episodes about a character eating something spicy and or bad, it's like, I think you need to, come up with some more gags.
It wasn't really funny the first time. It's definitely not funny the ninth time.
Like, so the start of episode 3, because we were kind of like, well, let's see if it changes things up. And the start of episode 3 does change things up.
Yeah, it got me hopeful.
Yeah, because there's a whole scene of Gabriel starts working for a coffee shop. And it's just a goofy scene where the coffee shop owner, like...
He's super passionate about his coffee, and he wants a great employee to, share his coffee.
And he's, convincing himself that this bratty girl has,
she just walks all over
extenuating circumstances for why she's acting like such a bitch.
It's fucking hysterical.
But, that scene is pretty good, and it goes on about 5 minutes, and when the scene was over, it then cuts to the one that we really hated, which is the other 2 girls having a conversation, and all I could think was, how much better would this show be if the episodes were 5 minutes and they were all like that? Yeah. If you cut out the other 2 girls entirely and just had it be Satania and Gabriel and have each episode is one of them has just a goofy scene. Mm-hmm. This is just a show about observing an angel and a devil who've sort of swapped ideologies on Earth, And, when you think about it, each episode, you could kind of find, 2 little 5-minute clips that you could cut out and make them their own episodes and cut out the rest, Just cut out the other 2 characters entirely and you've got a stronger show.
Agreed.
But then later in the episode, there is a scene between Satania and Gabriel, but it's set at the coffee shop, and it's the same joke as the first scene in the episode. The joke is still that Gabriel's acting like a bitch at work, and the coffee shop owner's being strung along by it, and it was just this was funny 10 minutes ago, but you just did this. You don't need
more of it, yeah.
So, yeah. And I'll say as well that of the first episode, which I enjoyed enough, but I had this sensation this show exists as a natural consequence of anime's existence.
Yeah.
Because anime is this show must be. Do you know what I mean?
I understand.
Like, I had this overwhelming feeling like this show could have come out at any point in the last 10 years and made just as much sense.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's the least surprising thing in the world that this show exists.
Yeah.
Like, I've literally seen hundreds of shows like this. Maybe not literally hundreds, but, like...
Maybe. I like, that's not a stretch.
It's not even a stretch, but I've seen dozens of shows of this nature.
Yeah.
You know, 4-coma adaptations about girls with some kind of quirk in a high school, and it's just a gag comedy, 4-coma. And yeah, like, it wasn't even done badly, but it was just like, this is exactly the same thing as Wakaba Girl and Kiniro Mosaic and, like, you know, Lucky Star if you read the manga, or let me look around for another poster so I can remember another show like this. Oh, I sold all my fucking manga that I don't read, so Ichiro or fucking SS Astro, those are two I had. Like, I've read dozens of 4-comas like this, and, like, it's exactly the same. And I can only have so many characters who eat spicy food and have a reaction before I fucking want to kill myself. So, yeah.
Can we just talk about how terrible some of the outfits are?
Oh, are they? I didn't even notice.
The fucking vignette. What is her name? Vignette?
Vigny?
Whatever. Her, like, going out outfit is atrocious.
Well, she's just supposed to look like normie. So
I don't know, dude. I was disappointed.
There aren't any standout outfits except maybe in the ED, when they wear their, like, devil. Even those aren't, like...
They aren't that good.
No.
I mean, fucking Satania has a cute outfit. She's too good for the show. Like, her design is too good for the show.
Satania and Gabriel's designs are
especially when
too good
she's
for
in
the
her
show.
fucking coffee shop outfit. It's really cute, but... it's lukewarm.
Not everything about the show is pretty lukewarm. There are some moments of, like, great animation, but they're not necessarily in the funniest moments, which is kind of weird. Like, there'll be a moment of just, like, crazy good animation that's, like, for no reason to be in that scene.
It's really awkward.
And there's some really good facial expressions. I'll give it that. That most of the times I laughed was because of a facial expression. And the OP and ED are both terrible.
They're painful.
The OP is legit hard to listen to. It is a cacophony. It is just all kinds of noise and weird
Why did they
shit.
decide to go with that?
I have no idea, man. It's
Who's,
too
like,
much.
approving this? Like, this is what we want.
You know, who I recommend this show to is if you enjoyed Nyarko-chan, or, like, maybe Squid Girl, like, this is along those lines. And those are both shows I couldn't watch for the same reasons, where I was just like, right, I get it. You know, very repetitive jokes, dumb girl characters who just kind of do the same thing. So I have no interest in continuing it. And that's probably it for this Finish or Fail. It was just 2 shows, but we already are up to 35 minutes in the video, so...
Fuck, we had a lot to say.
Yeah, about these 2. Hopefully we'll watch a good show again soon.